Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Alright, we're live here from the Speedway as we try to get everything situated. There it comes up! We get rocking and rolling here tonight. Great job here by these drivers getting everything situated, ready to rock and roll. For your viewing pleasure here tonight, we have the GT3 series along here at Freedom Motorsport Alliance, or FMA. A lot of you know it. We also have Regal, Wrapz, and Designs as tonight's sponsor of the GT3 Road Series. Bad echo. Well, let's see if I can see where this echo might be coming from. Let's see, if I shut this off, does that get rid of it? We'll see. There we go. That sounds better. We get ready to rock and roll here from the Virginia, or VIR, Virginia International Racing Circuit, if I'm doing that correctly. Out here the corner here, just give me a moment here to get things a little bit fired up here. It looks like I'm missing some overlay stuff, which is here on my end. Come on, you. Oh. There we go. Now we're all set. Everything's back up and running the way it should be. And Mach 10 Motorsports, once again, our sponsor for tonight's race. I watch them down around out of the corner, qualifying taking place. Quickest one there in qualifying right now. That's going to be Travis Roberto with a 1:46.662. There in second is Steven Zader with a 1:47.802. Mike Zacher with a 1:47.814. And I'm trying. All right, hopefully that gets it back. I'm watching the qualifying. Hopefully I can come back online there. Travis Roberto, your fastest out there with a 1:46.351. Mike Zacher with a 1:47.044. Kurt Bassler with a 1:47.084. Jamie McArthur with a 1:47.995. Justin Welsh there in 8 with a 1:48.130. Matt Moore, he's now back here in 12. Great looking mellow yellow machine there tonight. And heads down there off the corner, or down around the oak tree. Heading into corner. Heading down that long straightaway down there to 14, that roller coaster. He's currently with a 1:50.835. Brad Stanley with a 1:50.485. And it can get interesting here tonight. Hey, drivers really headed out there. Down there off the corner, down there through the roller coaster and through the hog pen. Good evening there. Dirt is Real Racing. If that's Chase or not, who that might be there in chat. Somebody enjoying a concert rather than racing tonight. What concert you out there at Dirt is Real Racing? It's one thing I can't do. I can't go to concerts. Down here off the corners. You see, Matt Mars worked through the snake. Heading up here to turn number 7. Up there through kind of quick turns there, 7, 8, 9, and then down here through the southbound of 10. And now he's going around the oak tree. Roberto, their sponsor here ends up, I don't know what he's doing there in his 028 monster machine. Trick or treat, yeah, he went more of a trick there. Getting rid of the hood of that. Interesting, we got a hood that is disappearing and coming back. Qualifying has ended. Getting ready for the 5 minute of warm-up. Oh, okay. So that is Chase. He's there in a concert tonight. Oh, what's wrong with this track? I mean, this track's pretty fun. All right, here we have Jody Nielsen out there for warm-ups at the moment. As we said, 5 minutes of warm-up. Well, that's not going to help us at all. There we go. That's why that was looking odd. All right. Now we got it set and rock and roll so we can see the time there as we need it. There, watching Roberto there work through. As you see, Roberto, I'm sorry, now Jody Nielsen down there through the bottom. Down there at the oak tree. He works off the corner. Not really seeing anybody else coming out. Well, there comes Bassler out. In at 396. We're here with, we're 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes in to qualifying. Or, 2 minutes into warm-ups. And we're down here out through. You see Bassler hooking it there through that left hook. The left hook causes him the hook left. Working there out of that left hook as he's off track. Now he's going to get it back on the track. Slow down for a brief moment. Nielsen out there with a 205.228. Doesn't seem like he's pushing it too hard at the moment. Possibly just trying to learn the track layout some more. Hey, watch him come down there off the corner. He's heading in the oak tree. Off the corner, down there. Through that long straight. Great job here so far in warm-up. We're coming here to a minute and a half left. into the first corner. Down there into the horseshoe of one. Basler there, a little bit off of Nielsen's pace. Matt Mars coming out on the track now here with only a minute left. You're seeing there as Basler works his way through the NASCAR bend, the left hook, and now up here through the stake. Basler down there through the oak tree bend. Getting it underway. And warm-ups have ended. Checkered flag is out. And I will get here with the grid in just a moment. Your starting grid here tonight. Kurt Basler out there on a pole. And then we have there in second, Kurt Basler, Mike Zacher. There in third, Brian Scott fourth. Jamie MacArthur there in fifth. Steven Zader there in sixth. Jody Nielsen there in seventh. Dan Brasington in eighth. Robert Billbrad in ninth. Justin Welsh in 10th. Brad Stanley there in 11th. Matt Mars there in 12th. 13th tonight, that's going to be Jay Davis with Michael Lemensk there in 14th. And then there in 15th, that's going to be Graham Connolly. On this 20th of October. Back up there, out front, as we said, you see Roberto Basler there second. The start lights, you see them there. And apparently not. Let's get that grid back up here for you, since apparently we didn't show it here. Oh, man, are we going to do this? Let's see if we can get back up here. It's showing on my end. And doesn't seem to be showing there. All right, we're doing this, aren't we? Give me a moment as we try to get this timing stuff up for you. I didn't realize it was missing. We're not. We're working on it very quickly here. There we see it come up. Here is your starting grid. Roberto starting front. Basler there second. Mike Zacher third. Brian Scott there fourth. Jamie MacArthur fifth. Steven Zader. Zader there in sixth. Jody Nielsen there seventh. Dan Brasington there eighth. Robert Milbrath there in ninth. Justin Welsh in 10th. Brad Stanley there in 11th. Matt Red Mars there in 12th. Jay Davis in 13th. Michael Lemensk in 14th. And Graham Connolly rounds out the field in 15th here tonight. We'll take a look back here. We see Graham Connolly there on that right side. Michael Lemensk hanging back a little bit there in that 924. Hey, everybody working there off the corner. Great job. And Kurt Bassler here in the 396. Mike Zacher there in the 46. Brian Scott there in the 85. Roberto out there in front. Got your patrons down there as well. There we go, all over here, getting ready for the start. Kurt Bassler up there in second. Mike Zacher there in the third. Brian Scott back there in fourth. Get ready for the start. Green flag is out. The start lights turn on. We're down and away here at... Is that not what it's supposed to be? Working off through there. Kurt Bassler in second now as Mike Zacher there in third. Everybody's kind of single filed it out down here through off of corner number 1 and 2. Down there through 4 and 5 now through that left hook. Down there through the stake. Michael LeMans squalls back behind Graham Connolly as they stake it on down through. Hey, here's that 028, Travis Roberto. Trying everything he can to stay out front right now. Hey, here comes Robert Milbrad up through. He's there in that number 45. Working off the corner. And down here into the roller coaster. Looky there, going underneath the 85. They're going to be Jamie McArthur. Can't quite get there. You're looking here at the 69 there of Zader. He's currently sitting there running 6th. He come down there off the hog pen, down there through the straightaway. 45 minutes to race distance tonight. Heading there off the corner they go. Travis Roberto out in front. Kurt Bassler there second. Mike Zacher there third. Brian Scott there fourth. Jamie McArthur there fifth. Steven Zader there in fifth. Uh-oh. Off track goes the Jamie McArthur in that 912. You see him work there off the corner. Looking there at Robert Milbrad in at number 45. Working on down here out of that corner. And Brassington there in 9th. And you watch them all come there through off the corners. Coming up there off of the corner, Justin Wells there in 8th. He's in there in that car number 67. Down there off the corner they go. J. Davis there in 11th. Matt Mars there 12th. Graham Connolly there 13th. Brad Stanley there 14th. Michael Lementz there in 15th. As him work on down there out of the out of the oak tree down there through the back straightaway. Then to the roller coaster here at corner number 14. Down here through off of the corner they go. I don't think I have we'll just let it be for this track here for tonight as they headed on out here. Down there off the corner they go. Roberto there out front, Bassler there second, Zacher there third. Looking there at Justin Wells back here in 8th and at number 67, Acura. Pretty sure that's what that is, the Acura. Hey, of course, it's driven by Jamie McArthur at number 912. Had an issue earlier in the race where he ended up off track. I think 9 laps in down there through the oak tree. I'm surprised at how tight this field's staying together here tonight. Pretty well formed here. For the moment anyway, here as we are only 8.5 minutes in. Down there through the roller coaster they go. Now into the hog pen goes Travis Roberto with Kurt Bassler there in second. Mike Zacher there third. Head down here across the stripe and into corner number 1. Again, we are racing at the Virginia International Raceway. Sponsored tonight. Tonight's sponsor, Mach 10 Motorsports, and that is Travis Roberto, giving a shout out to Mach 10. Hey, see him roll down there in the corner. The number 3, that NASCAR bend. I don't know why they call it a NASCAR bend. Now, we're waiting here as these drivers work on down through there. This is the NASCAR bend right here. I don't understand why we call it that, but that is what it's called. Now we go through the left hook and then through 5 and 5A. I don't know why, again, you call it turn 5. Down there through turn 6, that is the snake. Before getting up there through the chicane of 7, 8, 9, and then through the south bend of 10. And you see the 67 there, Justin Wells working through that upper snake, or chicane, or whatever you want to call it there at 7, 8, and 9. Before he makes his move down here in the corner number 10, that south bend. And then around the oak tree, which looks like Jimmy MacArthur got a good run there on the inside. Made a great pass there through turn number 11 and 12 on that oak tree. Before heading down that long straightaway, Travis Roberto through the roller coaster. And there we go. Roberto out there in front. Kurt Bassler there second. Mike Zager there third. Brian Scott there fourth. Steven Zader there in fifth. Jody Nielsen there in sixth. Robert Milbrath in seventh. Jamie MacArthur there eighth. Justin Wells now back in ninth. Now they head on out there through across the stripe in the corner number 1 down there at the horseshoe. Before coming back here through turn number 2. Travis Roberto through the NASCAR bend. Still watching Jamie MacArthur back here in that 912. Justin Welsh in the 67. We're trying, as we're staying with the closest gap. Bassler actually isn't too far off of Roberto right now. As you see him coming down through the stake up here in the corner number 7, 8, and 9. And we roll down there in the corner number 10. Looking there to the inside. Look out. As Bassler is there low. Look to the outside. As he tries to shoot there into the oak tree. Working down through that long straightaway, heading towards the roller coaster now. Goes Travis Roberto and Kurt Bassler. And watch him roll down there. You see Bassler looking, trying to see if he can find that spot to get around as they head on out through and down onto the bottom of the racetrack. You see Kurt Bassler there in second, Mike Zager there third. Down there across the bottom, it's going to be Mike Zacher there in third, but he's a little ways back there as he's back in third, about halfway between second and fourth. But Bassler hanging on tight there. Try to figure out where our most exciting is here tonight. There you see back there with Jamie MacArthur once again. As he's looking there underneath to the right side. He'll get there. Can he hang on there down in the corner number 1 down there at the horseshoe to make that pass? He will. He gets around Justin Welsh, Robert Milbrath, Jamie MacArthur trying to work his way back up through the field. After ending up off track early on in the race, he's got to really fight to get back up there. There you're looking at Robert Milbrath, at number 45, down there off through the corners. As Dan Brasic there is in 10th. Bassler still on the bumper of Travis Roberto out front. We're watching this battle here with Robert Milbrath and Justin Welsh, Justin Welsh is hanging on to 8th at the moment, down there off corner, or down there off the oak tree. We see Welsh hanging on to it. Milbrath right there. Brassington also coming into the picture. They got Jay Davidson at number 317 back here for Nameless Racing. Down there in the corner, number 14. And he looks there to the outside. Down there through off the corner. And looping it around here. Goes the 45, trying to get up there to the 67 of Welsh. A third, closing in on a third of the way. And work down there off the horseshoe into the NASCAR bend and over the left hook. Welsh coming down through the horseshoe now. There you see 028. Travis Roberto out there in front. Trying to hang on there in front of Bassler. And now we're back here looking at Justin Welsh. He's staying in front of Bill Bratt. It's him coming up through the snake. Down there into 7, 8, 9. Before making that left-hand turn there at corner number 10. Down there at the South Bend before going around the oak tree. Hey, Justin Welsh coming there through the South Bend before coming around Oak Tree. Drivers doing everything they can here to really put on that show. Now you got Robert Milbrat there in 9th, Jay Davis there 10th, Dan Brasington there in 11th, Matt Mars in 12th, Graham Connolly 13th, Michael Laments there 14th, Brad Stanley there in 15th. Up there off the corner they go, down there in the corner. Number 1 they go for Travis Roberto, followed by Kurt Bassler. Bassler now a half a second back there off of Roberto. And bring it on out there. Down that straight with the stripe. And we look there just well down there in the corner. Number 1 they go. Welsh goes around 1. Trying to get up there to battle with MacArthur. MacArthur, though, having to go bringing his way back up through the field after he ended up way off track, falling back many positions. And now he's just trying to fight his way back into the fight. His next driver he needs to chase down is that of Jody Nielsen. Right in front of Jody, that's Zader. They're in the 69, and then Brian Scott right there in front of that. And they work down there, off through the snake. And through 6, 7, and 8. Now you see Zader Scott and Zader going around the oak tree. Hey, Bassler still right there with Roberto. They chase it on down there into or down there into the roller coaster. Graham Connolly ended up off track. And go way off there. And down here through the next corner goes Justin Welsh at 67. As you're looking there, Justin Welsh working on off. Davis there in 10th, Brasington there in 11th. Michael Laments there in 13th, Brad Stanley there 14th. Mike Zacher there in 3rd. Still sitting halfway between 2nd and 4th. Bassler, though, he's right there. Quarter second off of Roberto right now as they head on down there with the oak tree. And back on down that long straightaway. You followed FMA, or Freedom Motorsport Alliance, here for the last couple seasons with Regal Wrapz and Designs. GT3 Road Series, you'll notice that normally we have a Mustang and a Porsche up here battling it out, which always quite interesting. Roberto out there right now, Bassler there second. And just out of curiosity, we're going to go ahead and see if we can pull up the points to talk to you all about them. Looks like Roberto is leading the points. Bassler is there in second. 199 to 175. Brian Scott currently running for it. There you see Bassler getting on the inside there, coming down into corner number 1, down there at that horseshoe. And Bassler is going to get around Roberto. Jay Davis then is in fourth on points, tied with Zader and Zacher. So Kurt Bassler, Travis Roberto won last week. Kurt Bassler won week 4. Travis Roberto won week 3. Travis Roberto won week 1, or week 2, I mean, and also week 1. So it's interesting here as Bassler has finished second, twice behind Roberto, getting a win at Imola in race 4. So Bassler would like to finish ahead of Roberto. I don't know if Roberto raced during the Imola race or not. I have to go back and look at results. As you can see him heading there off corner. Roberto there behind the 396. Bassler. Zager there in third. And you can see coming up there in fourth is Scott and Steven Zader. That's the 977 of Brad Stanley, who is a lap down now. Trying to work his way around the track. Graham Connolly out of the race. He is no longer being scored. Michael Amensk there in 12th. Dan Brasington there in 11th. Davis there in 10th. Robert Melbrad there in 9th. Justin Welsh in 8th. They got Jimmy McArthur back there in 7th. Jody Nielsen back there in 6th. Out of Lewiston, Idaho. Zader there in 5th. Brian Scott there 4th. Out of Spanish Fort. Mike Zager 3rd. Travis Roberto. Whoa! Oh no! That is not what we want to see. We do not want to see Roberto doing that as he is off track big time down there into the corner here. Not sure which corner he's coming through, but he just hooks it and ends up off track. That could spell disaster for Roberto. I think he lost it in about that same area in practice. So now that really gives Bassler some breathing room. Zacher is about almost 6 seconds back. Brian Scott back here. Zader, then Roberto. Roberto's going to try to get that thing back up and through the field. Maybe try to use the pitch strategy there at halfway to try to help him out. We see pit stop happening. The 29 there, Brasington came in for his pit stop. We are at halfway through the race. Bassler out front, Zager there second, Scott there third, Zader fourth, Travis Roberto here in 5th, Jody Nielsen there in 6th. And come up over top of that hump. Down off the corner they go. Hey, there's Kurt Bassler. Mike Zager coming there in 2nd. Scott there 3rd. Try to see if we got anybody else coming there pit lane. We do. Jody Nielsen on pit lane for his pit stop. And nobody has taken to that yet, other than Brasington. Mars made a pit stop as well. Oh, Matt Mars back here. Working down there at the roller coaster. And back around here into the hog pen. Lament's on pit road. Nielsen is off of pit road and running again. Hey, Brian Scott, trying to see if there are any other takers. We see the 29 there at Brassington, working bound there. Through, off track goes the 29 there through the hog pen. He'll tow it back there to the pits. Hey, Davis working there off of Oak Tree. Hey, Roberto there in fifth. We got Zagger coming down pit road. He gave up third spot. Michael Metz works there through turn 3 and 4. Kurt Bassler, Brian Scott, Steven Zader, Trav Roberto, Robert Milbrath back there in 5th. Now we see Zagger has entered. Jamie McArthur there on pit road. Justin Welsh coming in. Jay Davis comes in. All right, down to just the top 5. Bassler, Scott, Zader, Roberto, and Milbrath yet to pit here. They need one pit stop to make it on fuel. Most of these drivers will not take tires. Saving it takes too long on pit road. And him coming there through the corner, down off. That's going to be Kurt Bassler coming to pit road. Oh, what's Brian Scott got to do? He's going to stay out. Zader stays out. Or no, Zader comes in. Roberto comes in. Milbrath coming down there through off of the final corner, down there through the hog pen. He'll come in. So Brian Scott, the lone man out front right now. That's not pitted. We'll see if he comes in this time, as he is your leader. Coming down there through the NASCAR bend and the left hook. Before working his way into the snake. There, looking great. Bassler off pit road. Out front of Zagger, Zader, and Roberto. And we see Scott out there in front, out of Spanish Fort. Kurt Bassler there in second, Zagger there third. As it stands right now, but Scott does have to make a pit stop. Does he choose to make that stop this time? And work there off the corner down there in to the next one. And there comes Brian Scott on the pit road. As Bassler comes down there on the bottom. Working there off. And now that you see the pit stops have taken place, you can see the field spread out now. As usually happens after pit stops take place. Bassler working there off corner number 17 down there at the hog pen. He'll pass Brian Scott here coming across the line. And Bassler will retake the lead. Now we see down there off the corner. Comes Bassler. He is out there leading the way. See if we can find some excitement as Roberto gets up there in the third. He begins his march up there to Zacher if he can. There you see Brian Scott currently sitting there in fourth. Zader there in fifth. As Roberto's there in third. Got to really put the hammer down if he wants to try to catch Zacher within the next 15 minutes. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be tight for Roberto to try to get up there. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. I gotta run. I gotta grab myself something, some kind of drink here. All right, great racing here tonight from Virginia. Hey, watch these teams working on out around the speedway here tonight. Now, I appreciate everybody that's come in to join us here at Legal Farm TV. Down there off corner. Bassler out there leading the way. Got the 46 of Zacher in a second. Roberto in a third as they work down there through the oak tree. And you see them work there off the corner into corner number 17. Back around here, heading to the strike. Hey, Mike Zacher there in second. Trav Roberto there in third. Brian Scott there fourth. Steven Zader in fifth right now. They're working on out there. Through on to the next corner. And they work down there off. Great job so far there by Bassler tonight. Put pressure on Roberto, and I don't know if that's what caused Roberto to have trouble and end up overshooting that corner. And he tried to just gain that spot. I'm unsure of that, like I said, but he definitely screwed up. And now he's trying to get back there to the front. And bring it on out. Bassler there in front. Zacher there in second. Roberto there in third. Brian Scott there for it. Zader there in fifth. Heading on out here. Kurt Bassler leading the way. You're looking at Brian Scott, who's currently running fourth. Matt Mars ended up crashing. We'll take another look at Matt Mars here. He took a header here, possibly. He missed there. Ends up pulling off track. Trying to pull it on and loops it around. And he'll end up stopped. Calling it back there to the pits. Matt Mars still sitting in the pits. We got 10 minutes left of racing to go. Zacher, you see him there in second. Here comes Roberto trying to work his way up there, but he's running out of time. He's got to try to close that 5-second gap over top of Zacher. And looks like he's slow at doing so. 977 of Bradley gets out of the way, or Brad Stanley gets out of the way for these faster cars. They were down there into the roller coaster. I had Mars on pit road, possibly calling it done. So Roberto can see him, and he's got it down to about 4.7 gap between Roberto and Zacher. He works there off of the horseshoe down there into the NASCAR bend through the left hook, and finally making that right into the stake. Again, Travis Roberto giving a shout out to Mach 10 Motorsports tonight. There we go, off the corner. You see Roberto there in third. Zacher there in second. Bassler there out front. Down there into corner. Down there into corner number 4. I'm sorry, no. Number 17. And Berto's still trying to chase down Zacher, who's running across the stripe right now, down to about 4.5 seconds. So I just don't see Roberto being able to get up here to Zacher. Bassler has this thing pretty much wrapped up out front. He's got about 11-second gap and climbing over second place. Brian Scott back here for it. Zader back here in 5th. Jody Nielsen in 6th tonight. And we got Jeremy McCarter back here in 7th. Jay Davis there in 8th. Justin Wells 9th. Milbrath rounding out your top 10. Exactly. Rolling there through the snake. Coming here to 5 minutes to go. I'd probably say about 2 laps to go at this point in time. As we see Bassler rolling down there off the back straightaway. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to say about 2 laps to go. We see Bassler rolling through here, through the roller coaster down there, through the hog pen. And he'll come across possibly at that 40-minute mark. Down there across the stripe, about 40:05. And he heads into the down there into the horseshoe. Then up to the NASCAR bend. That left-hander right there, that NASCAR bend. Then you got the left hook. Right there is the left hook. Before making the right there through the snake. Now, Roberto is closing in little by little. I mean, he has it down to a 4-second gap, but he's got 2 laps to do it. I don't know if he'll have enough time. It's a tough track to gain position here, up here at the front. Not sure what happened there on that issue that sent him into the wall. We will get with him, though, after the race to speak about it. He is about 2 seconds ahead now of Brian Scott, so he's put some distance between him and Brian Scott. If you remember, they were running pretty close together. Now he's back here about 2.5 seconds ahead. There you see Zader. Zader's trying to get up there to Scott. And work there off corner number 12 down there at the oak tree. Bassler currently working through the roller coaster. Well, maybe I have it wrong. Maybe it's 2 laps to go now. As Bassler comes across the stripe, but that is yet to be seen. He comes across the line at about 41:52. Bassler down there. You see the 977 off track. That is Stanley. I don't know if he took the off track to let pass the car around, which very well could be what he did. Now A.J. Davis there in 8th. Brian Scott there in 4th. It looks like Roberto's still around that 4-second gap between him and Zacher. Can't really find that spot to make up ground too well. So Roberto's probably a little irritated with himself right now with that mistake earlier on in the race. And work there off the corner. Roberto out there in front. Roberto's there in 3rd. Brian Scott there in 4th. Zacher still holds on to 2nd place. We got a minute left. As Bassler works himself up off of there. I'm trying to figure out if it is white flag lap. We'll see here. We got the 317 coming there across the line. You got the 69 of Zader there in the pits. Take a look here. See what happened to Zader. As I'm showing, Zader ended up crashed. Had a great run going. And I can't find Zader here. So not sure what happened there. So can't find them, so we can't really see what happened. They're off of the corners they go. Bassler out there in front. Zager there in second. Roberto back here in third. He's got that gap down to 3 seconds, but this being the last lap, does not have the time to fully get around here and get up there to battle Zacher for that second spot. Bassler coming around here from the final corner down there at the hog pen. He's going to get the win here tonight at Virginia International. Kurt Bassler, your winner. And the Regal Wrapz and Designs GT3 Road Series. There comes Zacher coming across the line. Roberto following there behind him in third. Great job there by Kurt Bassler as he got the win tonight. Coming down there through off of corner number 3 and 4. We're waiting for these other drivers to finish. You got Jay Davis coming down there out of the final corner down there at corner number 17. Out hog pen, Justin Welsh as well. Robert Milbrad, he's also coming down there out of the hog pen. Michael Lemensk still working down there out of the oak tree. And we see Bassler and Zager. A couple of your winners. Now we got Stanley coming across. And Lament still trying to get up here to finish this one out. Now he works down here into the roller coaster. And then finally, around that final corner, Matt Morrow's in the pits, so he's going to finish in the pits. Zader ended up out, down a lap. Brasington out, down 12 laps. Connolly down 15 laps. And you see him coming through there. Great job there by Zader. All right, Bassler, Zacher and Bassler, sorry, not Zader. Sorry. As you see Bassler out there, we're getting our results in now. Kurt Bassler, your winner here tonight. Mike Zager there in second. Trav Roberto there third. Brian Scott fourth. Jody Nielsen there in fifth. Jamie MacArthur there in sixth. Jay Davis there seventh. Justin Welsh there eighth. Robert Milbrad there ninth. Michael Lemensk there in 10th. Brad Stanley there in 11th. Steven Zader in 12th. Matt Morris 13th. Dan Brasington 14th. Graham Connolly in 15th tonight. So that is your finishing results. Now, to get with our winners here tonight. Good evening here, Travis. How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Do have a question for you, though. I noticed there, I forget which lap it was, you ended up losing it and going off track and finding that wall.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when that was, but that Mustang is just absolutely worthless at those track temps, unfortunately. So it is what it is. It's about the best I can get out of that car when it performs that poorly.
I mean, you did a great job, and you came back, but battled back to get third place tonight.
Yeah, given the spin out in the wreck, it's not too bad. I'll take third. It helps the points. It was just frustrating to lose a second and a half over the whole day. I think I had them all covered almost by 8, 9 tenths, if not a second in practice. And then in qualifying, the track temps were 110, and then in the race it was 124, and it was just nothing I could do. It was just incredibly slow.
I mean, you did a great job, though. You kept it underneath you for the most part of the race, except just that one little incident that cost you a few positions. But you battled, like I said, you battled that back. A great job. You were gaining on Zacher, just not enough to really make a difference.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about catching him. I was just trying to keep it on the track at the last 10 minutes or so.
All righty. Well, congrats on third place. You got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank?
We'll stay with the usual. Mach 10 Motorsports, yourself, and the FMA group.
All righty. Well, congrats there, Travis, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, all right. Have a good night. See you in a week.
All right, have Travis Roberto, our second place. Now we'll get with Mike Zacher. Good evening there, Mike. How's it going? Yeah, there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here.
All righty. Second place tonight. How do you feel about that?
Actually, I feel really good about that. This was a tough track and hard to keep it on the track. So I'm real happy. I raced a clean race.
Well, I understand them track temps were hot out there tonight, and might have loosened the cars up some.
Yeah, from the time we started practice till the race, it probably 10 degrees in track temperature at least, and cars were a lot slippery. The first couple laps were really really hard to handle the car for sure.
Well, you did a great job there getting second. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank there for getting that second place podium tonight?
No, just happy to get to race and happy to have a good race.
All righty. Well, you have yourself a great night there, Mike, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you next week.
All right, that was Mike Zacher, our second place. You there, Kurt?
I'm here, Adam.
All righty. Congrats getting the win here tonight.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was a tough night. This track, you could spin out in so many places, get some slowdowns. I got a slowdown on the last lap there. Other than that, it went okay.
Slowdown, I don't think affected you much. I mean, you had a 8-second gap over you and Zach, from you to Zacher.
Yeah, the gaps was staying pretty solid there, and I was lucky at the end just to keep it there. But in the beginning, I wasn't sure what was going on with Travis. I felt a little bit of a difference, but it wasn't quite as bad as the Mustang, I guess. And I was able to keep up, and then he spun out and was lucky to get by just before that, actually. So it went pretty good.
I don't know if he spun out or if he just couldn't get it to turn.
Yeah, it was in my mirror, so I just saw him spinning, and I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, because we looked at it here on the replay, and it almost looks like he couldn't make the turn and ended up going straight off the track and then had to get it spun around and get back going again.
Yeah, that's possible. But everybody was keeping up. Mike was doing some good laps. I wasn't getting away from him.
Well, you were little by little. But, I mean, he was running some great lap times. He was staying ahead there of Roberto.
Yeah, I'm glad he was able to hold on to that. And, sorry for Travis to have the slippery car right there, but it helped us and got us the 1 and 2.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how these points go this season. I know that you guys are pretty close there battling it out this season.
I think it was getting pretty close, yeah. I mean, hopefully we can keep that going to the end. Usually Travis, he was a second faster in warm-up and practice, so we'll see how the next tracks go.
Yeah, Travis has 199 points. You have 175 points going into the night.
I guess we'll catch up a little bit, but it won't be enough.
Not yet. I mean, we're only in week 5 or week 6. We got a 12-week season, so I mean, you still got some time to make up some ground.
Yeah, let's see what the next tracks bring here. But good race, everyone.
So, congrats there getting that win, and you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank?
Thanks everybody here for putting this on. Awesome race, and we'll see you guys next week.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Kurt, and Can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings here with the GT3s. You have yourself a great and wonderful night.
You too. Thank you.
All right, that was Kurt Bassler, your winner here in the GT3 series from Regal Wrapz and Design, brought to you by the Freedom Motorsport Alliance, and provided here to your viewing pleasure through Flicker Farm TV. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Wednesday night for the start with Coast to Coast and their hometown heroes, then on to the Gen 4s here at FMA. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.